There are a lot of things we could talk about tonight with the Seattle Mariners. We could just talk about the fact they won a baseball game. We could dive into their playoff positioning and where they're at. We could talk about beating Houston. Talk about the offense was pretty solid again tonight. But the number one takeaway from this game and the number one story and the number one focus for any Mariners fan tonight has to be Bryce Miller. What a season he has put together. The lowest ERA on this pitching staff, on this tremendous pitching staff, belongs to Bryce Miller. A guy that early in the year, he hasn't pitched too well on the road, dominates on the road. A gutsy 7 shutout inning performance against an Astros team that was trying to clinch a division title tonight. What a performance and what a season from Bryce Miller. And we'll have time to debate playoff positioning and all that stuff over the final 5 games. But I think tonight, just enjoy Bryce Miller. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome into Seattle Mariners post-game recap. Not in my normal setting tonight, not home, so apologize for that, but I don't think you guys really care. Always bring the mic just in case, you never know. Mariners defeat the Astros tonight 6-1. They improved to 81-76 on the year, and Bryce Miller is the story. The offense was good too, and the bullpen does its job. So, and we could talk playoff position. I'm not going to get into that too much. It's certainly, if we want to look at that, a massive shame they couldn't finish it off yesterday. Had they won yesterday, I think I'd feel actually pretty good that this team can get in. They still got a shot. But I think for right now, enjoy Bryce Miller and what he's done, because listen, this is a guy that came onto the scene last year, fastball, and dominated early on. And then teams started to figure it out, like kind of a one-pitch pitcher last year. Tried some secondary stuff, but it was more of like, hey, not every pitch is just a fastball. And this offseason developed some secondary stuff. And a guy I was honestly a little concerned about. Again, concerned in the sense of I didn't think he'd be awful, but I thought he might be more of a number 4 back-end starter, which is totally fine with a guy under club control. Nothing wrong with that. But my gosh, has he not been a back-end starter? Lowest ERA in this pitching staff. Pitching staff with George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Brian Wu. It's Bryce Miller. It is Bryce Miller that has the lowest ERA. ERA doesn't tell the whole story, obviously, but he's been tremendous. 2.94 ERA. Goes into Houston tonight. Like I said, Houston trying to clinch the division. They're going to win the West here. They are. I mean, even if the Mariners somehow sweep, I can't imagine the Mariners would then have to sweep and Houston lose the series. So, I mean, I guess it's possible, but more likely that they will win the division. Bryce Miller goes in there, 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, no runs. What an outing. I don't care if Yordan Alvarez was out. I mean, obviously that factors into it. Don't care. That is a gutsy, tremendous performance tonight from Bryce Miller. And how about that 7th inning? How about that? I mean, I know he's only at 69 pitches going into the 7th, but Dan leaves him in. We've seen guys taken out in those situations, and he lets him finish that 7th inning. Love it. Love letting Bryce Miller get through those 7 innings there. Because I think it was a spot where normally I think Scott would have taken him out after 6 1/3, maybe rightfully so. But Dan leaves him in. He strikes out Caratini, strikes out Jeremy Pena. What a finish to that outing. And to say that, I mean, to say that wouldn't build confidence would be wrong. That is going to build confidence for Bryce Miller. It's a shame he's only going to get one more start, 12-8 on the year. I honestly, and I'm sure someone will go, no, Jay, there's no chance. But I haven't, listen, last month or so, I've been pretty much following Mariners outside of looking at standings. Is there a chance for some Cy Young votes for Bryce Miller? I'm sure I'm missing someone super obvious that like, oh, duh, they've got that award locked up. But listen, we know wins and losses are garbage way to measure pitchers nowadays. Again, I'm sure they like having it. I like seeing pitchers get wins, but nobody looks at it anymore. I mean, Miller's been tremendous. He has been absolutely tremendous this season. I don't know if he's going to get Cy Young votes, but I mean, I think it would be justified. I really do. I cannot say enough good stuff about Bryce Miller. And he is sort of kind of become the next Logan Gilbert. Logan was very similar his rookie year, kind of a one-pitch pitcher, kind of had a similar first year to Bryce Miller and developed some secondary stuff and took off and is now one of the best in the American League. And Bryce Miller may very well be on his way to doing the same. I remember people were really disappointed the Mariners didn't get Yandy Diaz from the Rays at the deadline. Well, the rumor, was the Rays wanted major league ready pitching. And I think one of those names was probably Bryce Miller. Thank God. And I like Yandy Diaz, right? Fine baseball player, but all four of the Mariners getting him. But thank God Bryce Miller remains a Seattle Mariner. What an asset. And under club control, too. So this rotation just continues to be dialed in. And love seeing I know Wu ended up not finishing that game strong yesterday, but can't say enough about the young guys really being strong in September for this team and helping keep them afloat. Troy Taylor does give up a run in the 8th inning. Jason Hayward gets him for a solo home run. Taylor's been a little iffy last couple outings, struggled a bit on Saturday in Texas, but still overall been a huge asset. And Bizarro's kind of become the blowout closer. You got your regular guys in there, obviously Snyder, Munoz, Taylor, Chagua occasionally. I'm probably missing somebody else a little bit, but and Gregory Santos is back. Diaz optioned Tacoma, so we'll see if Santos can help over the final 5 games. But Bizarro's kind of become the blowout closer, I guess, which is good because now you do have Snyder and Munoz available tomorrow. You got 5 games left. You do have to essentially treat it as a postseason series. So if you're in a tight spot in 6, go to Munoz. You need all hands on deck now here for your final 5 games. So we'll see. But like I said, tonight, just enjoy Bryce Miller. Offense does its job again. 13 more hits, 4 walks, a base running blunder there in the 7th inning on Julio's single. I thought it might cost the Mariners as the Astros then got the first 2 on in the 7th inning. So I'm thinking, great, here we go. The base running blunder is going to cost the Mariners, but and the offense continues to add on. I know obviously up until the 7th, only the 1 run, but Hunter Brown's been really good. No doubt about that. He was off to a shaky start this year, and I'll kind of toot my own horn there. I think the Mariners beat him back in May or April, and he had like a 9 ERA. And I was like, I don't think Hunter Brown's bad. I think the stuff is really good. He's going to bounce back. Just needs to find the strike zone a little bit, and he obviously has. He's been a tremendous pitcher for Houston. He's been a big reason why they're likely going to win the AL West despite all their injuries. Guys like Hunter Brown have really stepped up for them. So not ashamed at all. Mariners only got 1 run there. They were able to add 5 on the Astros bullpen. So huge. Great job there by the offense. Top of the lineup getting it done today. Robles 2 hits, Julio 3, Cal 2, and Arozarena 2 hits as well. Robles goes 2 for 4 with a walk on base 3 times. Julio continues his torrid September, 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs, RBI single, and RBI ground rule double, which I swear got out, but I obviously didn't. And then another base hit after a tough double play in the 1st inning. But what a September for Julio, and you really do hope this team can find a way to get in because we know the pitching, right? Logan Miller, even Kirby, who's pitched better his last couple times to get Castillo back. You feel good about the rotation. Bullpen maybe a little questionable. Just feel pretty good with Mooney back there to close out games. And this offense is now, it's been one of the best in baseball in September. And again, it might end up being a case of too little, too late, which is a shame because a red-hot Julio, I think, could take this team a lot of places. Now, again, unfortunately for the Mariners, so many months of just inconsistency at best may end up costing them. But if they can get in, you got some guys that are red hot. Cal, 2 for 5 with an RBI. Randy, same thing. You look at the OPSs. I remember we were kind of laughing early in the year. I'm like 580, 520. Now you look at Robles, 825. Julio, 739. You love higher than that, but productive, right? Cal, 736. Randy, 725. Rayleigh, 772. Turner, 737. It's like, no, it's actually not too bad. 1 through 6. Luke Rayleigh was 1 for 5. Justin Turner continues to be productive, 1 for 3 with a base hit and a walk and an RBI on the sac fly. Polanco had an RBI double. JP 1 for 4. Anything you get from JP right now, that slugging is just gone. Even the hits he's having, just base hits, which better than nothing. But man, I don't know what happened to the slugging. And then Rojas 0 for 1 with the walk, and same with Dylan Moore, who pinched hit for Rojas 0 for 1. With walk. Even Rojas and Demo in the 9 hole with the other guys heating up is perfectly acceptable. It was just frustrating when nobody else was rolling, and then you had those guys as well. But when the rest of the team is rolling, they're fine in that 9 hole. Let's look at the standings real quick because everybody else was off today. Essentially, there was like 3 games in baseball, which probably smart for baseball with Monday Night Football and having 2 games. For that, it was probably smart of them. So let's look at the wild card real quick. Obviously, Baltimore's got a 4-game lead on that. They'll be in there. Detroit at 82 and 74, tied with Kansas City for the second and their second and third wild card. Minnesota's a game back, and the Mariners are a game and a half back. So, Detroit gets Tampa and the White Sox. believe the Royals have the Nationals and the Braves. Could be tough. And Minnesota gets Miami. And who else does Minnesota play? Can I even pull up their schedule here? Let's see what their schedule is. Okay, I don't care about the advertisement. Oh, Baltimore. So they get Baltimore down the stretch here. So, I mean, listen, some tough games. And listen, they're still got 2 more against a Houston team that's going to want to clinch the division, and then a pesky Oakland team. But we'll see. But for tonight, Bryce Miller's the story. Enjoy Bryce Miller. The 2024 Mariners have left us. Well, they've lost us a little bit too, but they've left us with a lot of question marks. There really is. There's going to be a lot of offseason questions and a very, very disappointing one unless something miraculous happens here. One thing that is not a question is the performance of Bryce Miller. Have a great night, everybody. Hey, if you guys can do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Forgot to mention that. I'm about 27 subs away from 4,200. Maybe we can hit that tonight. I'd love it if we could. It's my goal to get to 4,200 by the end of the season. So if you guys can hit that sub button, hit like as well. It helps out the channel tremendously. Comment your thoughts down below. And as always, go Mariners. Peace.